Hello and welcome to Tarot Thursday. I'm Reverend Mary Hawk, and with me is Reverend Don Lewis.
Hello, hello.
And we are here to do three card, more or less, readings.
More or less.
So if you have a question for us, go ahead and place your question in chat or just say hello and tell us where you're from. And hello to Lena and Morgan. Good to see you both.
Hello, hello.
And Lena, I see you'd put a question in chat before we'd actually started. Are you still here with us? And hello to Janet and to Renee.
Hello, hello.
Hope everyone is having a good day. It has been extremely hot here near Nashville, Tennessee. Our heat index was 109 today. And Lena says she is here and she has asked for a general reading for the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Hello, Lucas. And then Renee has asked for a general reading.
Alrighty then. So I have drawn 3 cards. The first card I have drawn is the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords says for Lena that during this time period, whatever it is she does not want to do, whatever she may be afraid of having to deal with, is going to be there and need to be dealt with. And the advice is do not shy away from it. Do not try to get away from it. Face it head on, and it will go easier than you anticipate. If you try to get away from it, you're only going to make it worse. So take it by the horns and handle it directly. With that, we have the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups says that, yeah, well, that's true, but basically it's not a bad situation that you're in. It's not everything you want it to be, but it's not bad in of itself. So while you're dealing with that situation you'd rather not be dealing with, take some time to look at the good things that are happening at the same time, because overall things are going to be fairly good. With it, we have the Two of Lamps, which says that what's really going on is that you're trying to find your way for the future. You're looking for inspiration, you're looking for direction, you're looking perhaps for guidance going into the future, and it's still taking shape. It's not quite ready to be seen yet, but it's coming together. So be patient with that. Let it take the time that it needs. Take stock of the good that's around you, and what perhaps is not good, take care of it right away, and it won't get any worse. And there you go. And let's draw a Brian card, because of course we must have a Brian card.
Of course.
And I've drawn the Six of Coins, which says that, if you follow that advice, you'll find things will go fairly well. You'll find the universe may help you along a little bit. So in dealing with that thing you don't want to deal with, you may find it significantly easier than you expect, and that there's help you're not anticipating, as long as you actually deal with it and don't try to get away from it. And there you go.
Okay, so the first card I've got for you is the Queen of Lamps. And the Queen of Lamps is talking about adapting your ideas to your current situation. Work with what you've got where you are, with the people you can have in your circle, with the resources you have. I've got the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles says, be careful in the material realm, watch your resources, and be frugal at this point in time. And finally, I've got Judgment. So things are coming to fruition for you. You are coming into your own, is a good way to speak of this card. Things are changing for you. And I'm going to pull a Brian card. And I've got the Six of Cups. So old relationships. So someone from your past is coming back into your life. So I hope that is helpful for you. Okay, and now Renee has asked for a general reading.
And I have drawn 3 cards for Renee. And they're a different set of cards. So the first is the King of Lamps, which is meditation and self-knowledge. And I'm going to say that to deal with the situations Renee has in front of her, she needs to do a little meditation, do a little looking into herself, be clear on what she wants and where her mind really is, where her heart really is. With it is the veil, which is worry about physical things. Could be worry about money, could be worry about other physical things, but it's often unnecessary worry. And it's saying, don't let that distract you from that self-knowledge. You need to see what it is you really want, what it is you really care about, and it's followed by the Tower. And the Tower is change, and the Tower is also self-liberation. You can see in the picture, the soul is exploding from the tower of its past lives and experience. And this card, to me, represents liberating yourself from unnecessary constraint. So it's saying that if you pay some attention to self-knowledge and meditation during this time period, it's going to be very freeing for you into the future. It's going to help you to let go a lot of the worries that you've been dealing with and move forward without them. I'm going to draw the Brian card because we must have a Brian card. And the Brian card is the Three of Lamps. The Three of Lamps is working with other people to advance professionally or socially. In this case, could be family members, could be friends, but working on those relationships as you go forward. So that I think you'll find that that's a big part of where you really want to put your attention. But all of this really comes down to being clear with yourself where you want to put that attention and doing that, and good things will follow. And there you go.
Okay, so I have got the Eight of Swords, and this card is about feeling stuck, being in a situation where you feel like you're just not moving. I've got the Lovers, and this card is about choices. You're going to have to choose. A decision is coming up, and you're going to have to choose. And I've got the Queen of Swords. And when this card comes up, it's about looking at your current situation and evaluating it in terms of similar situations from the past. What worked? What didn't work? And be very careful with your communications. And I will draw a Brian card for you. And I've got the Chariot. So we did have the Eight of Swords about being stuck. So, yes, you're feeling stuck now, but when things start to move, they're gonna move quickly. So, be prepared. Once you make a decision, it's going to be very rapid. And Lena, you are welcome. And hello to Kylene. Good morning to
Yes,
you in
indeed.
Australia. And hello to Lucas, if I didn't say hello.
Hello, hello.
And Morgane is asking for a general reading for the coming week. And yes, it's very polleny here. I had just taken my dog outside before I came on. And hello to Twin. You are most welcome.
So I have drawn 3 cards. The first is the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is waiting for change. Change is not quite upon you, but it's coming quickly. And it says you must be patient to allow those things to take their shape, but change is soon to happen. So hopefully this is change you're hoping for, change you're waiting for. It's on its way. With it, we have the Princess of Coins. The Princess of Coins says that to get the things you want, you need to take the actions that are required. You have everything you need to take those actions. You have everything you need to put it into motion, but you must, in fact, put it into motion. So while you're waiting, do the things that you can do to move things forward. It's followed by the Four of Lamps. And the Four of Lamps can mean a number of things, but on one hand, it's looking for guidance. On another hand, it is the feeling that there's more out there. You can see the moon in the picture is kind of speaking to the lady in the drawing. And it's saying that, yeah, in terms of the things that are coming for you, let yourself be open to guidance. Seek that guidance out, and it will help you in terms of what you need to do. I'm going to draw one more card. We've drawn past. So past, you can see in the picture the elderly woman is communing with her younger reflection. And this has a couple of different messages in it. One of them is, do not be captivated by your past. Do not. Simultaneously means remember that your future can be whatever you make it. It doesn't have to be what has been. But it also carries with it the message that, the past still offers guidance. So look to your past for guidance and for knowledge of things that have worked for you in the past, what has not worked for you in the past. But also bear in mind that you don't have to do that. You can also take new directions if you choose to. The past is there to advise you, not to control you. And in dealing with this, I think it mainly comes down to being patient for the change that you're waiting for and being open to the guidance to deal with it. and taking the action when the time comes. And there you go.
All right, so the first card I've got for you is the Emperor. And the Emperor is the Lord of the physical realm, the cycles. And when he comes up, he reminds us that everything moves in cycles. So whatever is happening now is temporary. If you don't like it, it will change. If you do like it, it will change. The next card I've got for you is the King of Pentacles. And so this card is about prosperity. It's about being in a good position. And it's also about using what you have wisely. And I've got the Three of Lamps for you. And this is about living up to your highest ideals and putting them in practice where you are right now. And I'll pull one more card for you. And I've got the Princess of Cups. And this is about expressing what you need to say and not holding back. So I hope that is helpful, Morgane. And let's see here. You're welcome, Renee.
Yes, indeed.
Hello to Shaggy.
Hello, Shaggy.
And let's see. I'm sorry, suddenly my chat suddenly started acting odd. Okay, there we go. Next up is Lucas. And then Twin Spice. And then, yes, we do Tarot Thursday every Thursday, unless we announce we're taking a day off. Okay, so Lucas has asked for a general reading. Perhaps we should make everyone say everything 3 times in honor of Reverend Don's bow tie. You can post in chat. Oh, I was going to have people post in chat if they got the reference.
So, first card I have drawn for Lucas is the Nine of Lamps. The Nine of Lamps is personal mastery and the competence and ability to do what you want to do. So it's saying that you're going to find yourself in a position where you're perfectly able to do whatever it is you want to do. You don't have to get anything new. You don't have to learn anything new. You don't have to do anything extra. You're already there. With it, we have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups is past influences. That could mean people from your past who have an influence on what's going on around the immediate future. Could mean past patterns also. But influences from the past are going to be influencing the present. So be aware of that. If you don't see any people from your past, look for patterns from your past. And finally, we have the Eight of Coins. And the Eight of Coins is another card of personal mastery, a card of craft, a part of knowing what you're doing. And it basically says that, yeah, you should find yourself in very stable ground. You should find yourself with all the knowledge, all the ability that you need to do whatever it is that you want to do. And it's going to have something to do with your past. We're going to draw the infamous Brian card. And we've drawn the Three of Lamps, which seems to be a theme tonight. And the Three of Lamps is working with other people for advancement. So whatever it is that you're working on, I'm going to say that you're going to find yourself needing to work with other people, having help from other people, and doing this in a kind of a communal way. And it all looks very positive to me. I'd say it's a very good situation. And all the things that you need, you've already got. And there you go.
So the first card I've got for you is Judgment. So Judgment is about, I'm going to say in this case, coming into your own. Getting to where you need to be. I've got the Ace of Lamps. And this card is about looking at other people with empathy for their situations. And I've got the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is about being in a good place with your relationships, with your family and your friends. You're happy and content. And then when I draw another card, it's the Seven of Cups. So you're going to have some choices or a choice to make amongst several good options. So I hope that is helpful. Let's see where we are. Morgane says, thank you both, and that last week's reading was absolutely spot on precise.
Oh, yeah.
Morgane and Twin and Janet all like your tie.
Thank you.
All right. And then Twin says, I would like general guidance, and also, is the person I'm dealing with a narcissist or an avoidant? Can I trust him?
Okay.
All right.
So I've drawn 3 cards. We're going to start with the general guidance part of the question. First card is the Three of Lamps. You're going to find yourself working with others to help yourself move forward in life in a very successful way. It involves popularity, it involves success. With it, we have the Queen of Wands, which is satisfaction, happiness, being in a good place. So overall, I would say you should find yourself in a good situation. But it's followed by the Five of Wands, which is conflict. This could be conflict with a person, and the second part of the question perhaps suggests that. Or it could be internal conflict about exactly how you want to handle things. But conflict is very important to the situation. And for our Brian card, we're going to ask specifically about that person that you're asking, can you trust them? No. We've drawn the Eight of Wands, and you can see the couple fleeing in terror into the night. I would not take that to be a sign of trust. In its most literal sense, this is a card of speed, so I'd say you'll know quickly one way or the other. But my inclination is to say, no, I don't think I would trust them. And I would say that's probably the source of the conflict in the rest of the reading. Otherwise, things look pretty good. I'm going to draw one more card for you, just because. Now, I've drawn the Three of Coins. Three of Coins says that other than that, everything's going to go very well. You're going to find yourself in a nice, successful, happy place. So deal with that situation, and everything else is going to take care of itself. But can you trust them? I wouldn't. There you go.
I have a conflicted reading here. I have the Two of Pentacles, which is talking about learning new skills, valuable skills. And I have the Five of Swords, which is conflict, and the Five of Cups, which is emotional loss. So no, you can't trust him. Two of Pentacles is learning new things that will be valuable to you. And I'll draw one more card. And I got the Eight of Lamps, which is being in a good position and heading in new directions. So yes, if you get away from that particular individual, it's a favorable reading. Don't walk, run.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly as the Eight of Wands would suggest.
You are very welcome. And
Absolutely.
hello to Hippie Janet. We are going to pause for a word from our sponsors.
.com. Oh, wait, I'm ahead of myself.
You are, and then we will do your reading.
Rev Don's Book of Stones, Metals, and Crystals. Everything you always wanted to know about the magical and spiritual properties of stones, metals, and crystals in one book. Get your copy today at CorellianPublishing.com.
.com.
.com.
Rev Don's Book of Astrology. Everything you always wanted to know about the stars in one book. Get your copy today at CorellianPublishing.com.
We love our sponsors. Witchwool.com, now in its 25th year, celebrating actually at the beginning of next month.
Yes.
And we are planning 11 days of celebration for the 25th anniversary. We hope you'll join us for those many presentations. And if you don't already have a Witchwool lifetime membership, you can get those at witchwool.org, or you can get a regular membership at witchwool.com. And there's some very exciting news about developments for the site that will be coming up during the celebration. And of course, CorellianPublishing.com, where you can buy all of my books and many others. And also lots of cool stuff.
Yes. And we do this as a service. But if you want to shoot us a tip, my PayPal is maryhawk1968@gmail.com.
And it would be much appreciated.
Yes, it would be. And join us tomorrow for the greatest ever pagan super show extravaganza.
That one.
Yes, at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we will be speaking with Mana Youngbear about her book and her life as a priestess and a druid.
Yes.
All right. And Hippie Janet has asked for a general reading for the week ahead. Excuse me.
Okay. Well, first card I have drawn is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords says that going into this week, you may feel like there are things you'd like to do, but you can't. You may feel somewhat held back. You may feel somewhat blocked. Yeah, nothing else to say about that except that some of the things you'd like to do are going to be out of reach. But at the same time, we're followed by the Emperor, which says, well, you know, yeah, that's true now, but that will change, as all things do. So be patient with it. Know that it will change, and that while you may feel held back right now, things will open up in the near future. And it's followed by Death, which presumably is the opening up. And Death, of course, is transformation. So during the course of this week, there's a lot of transformation going to be happening. And whatever you feel is holding you back, you may find that it opens during this same time. And let's draw a Brian card. You've drawn the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is good judgment, also decisions. So in dealing with that opening, there may be a lot of things you have to decide in terms of what you want and how to go about that. But I think you're going to find the opening you've been waiting for is pretty much here, but that you're going to feel held back until it actually arrives. So, you know, be prepared to make the decisions that you need to make as things start to open. And I'm going to draw one more. Why? Because why not? King of Wands. King of Wands is success and satisfaction. When your opening has happened, you'll be pleased with what you get from it. So be patient, let it take its time, and you'll find you're really right on top of it. And there you go.
All right. The first card I've got for you is the Soul. Here we see Gaia with her child. And when this card comes up, you are learning important lessons. So be aware and look for what the universe is teaching you right now. By the way, your whole reading is Major Arcana. Next, I've got Time. And this is the Mayan goddess or god of time. And this is all about cycles. So remember that whatever is happening now is temporary and it will change. And finally, I've got fortune. So you will get some luck, a gift of the gods coming up. Things are going to go absolutely in your favor. So you may feel like you're struggling. You're going to have to work for something, but at the same time, remember the fortune card. It's going to work out for you. So there you go. Whew. Allergies.
Yes. My goodness, are we all caught up for the moment?
We are all caught up. Does anyone else have a question for us?
Oh my God, we may have to be talking heads.
You are very welcome, Janet. Much love to you as well.
Absolutely.
Hope to get back up that way again soon so I can see you.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Anybody else have a question?
Or a topic that you'd like us to talking head about.
Yes. We could talk about bananasauruses.
Yes, we could. My grandson recently received a Bananasaurus and was absolutely captivated by it. If you're not familiar with what a Bananasaurus is, there is Google.
And once I found it, I determined that my great nephew, who is also captivated by dinosaurs, will be receiving one.
They're very cute.
It's adorable.
Bananasaurus.
So, if you happen to be in the Nashville area on Saturday, October 3rd, please come to Nashville Pagan Pride Day.
Yeah.
We will be at Two Rivers Park over by the wave pool near Opry Mills Mall from 10 until 5. Yeah, I wish I could get up there for lustration at the end of the month, but I cannot do it right now, Janet.
Lustration will be held on August 29th this year in Peoria, the regional lustration. And that will be Lady Crystal's, what would have been her 81st birthday. And at more or less that date, we will be releasing the Lady Crystal Ancestor card for anyone who would like to order one. And watch for announcements about that.
Yes.
And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, Lady Crystal was the longtime first priestess of the Correllian tradition who recently joined the Ancestors.
So, what else can we discuss?
Vampire Neighbors? I saw a movie about that once. It was called Fright Night. But I think that
Vampire.
was actually about your other neighbor.
One of my neighbors, she and a friend were outside wearing white with fake blood, and she said they were vampires and doing a photo shoot. And I just assumed they were part of the vampire subculture,
Mm-hmm.
which is very popular.
Yeah.
But then I took my dog out just before we started the live stream, and her husband was outside mowing the yard in the dark. Did not have a porch light or anything else on.
Echolocation is a wonderful thing.
And Morgane is asking to know more about Lady Crystal's ancestor card.
As we get closer to the date, we will be making announcements about it on our various Facebook pages, but it will be available from CorellianPublishing.com. It will be a single ancestor card that you can add to the existing ancestor deck. Or if you buy a new ancestor deck, the Lady Crystal card will be included in it. So, yeah. And it's, if you're not familiar with the ancestor deck, it is the ancestors of the Corellian tradition. Not all of them, but most of the major ones. And it is a divination deck. And the cards are interpreted according to the things that that individual ancestor was most known for. And yeah, we have a number of interesting tarot decks and divination decks at CorellianPublishing.com. Many of them are not currently in print, others are. The Tarot of Hecate that we read with every week can be ordered again. We're currently waiting till we get 10 orders to ship off. And so it's available for pre-order at the moment. But we also have the Rune deck and the Ancestor deck and the Numerology deck and numerous decks that we have done over the years.
Yes.
The Infinite Tarot, yes. And in the future, there'll be more.
I'm fond of the Santa deck.
The Santa deck was fun. The Witches deck was fun too, although it's only one suit, but it was a fun suit. I'm thinking at some point I will do a deck of the Corellian alphabet for divination.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. I just have to have everything else off my table before I can do it, because that will be time consuming.
Yes.
So maybe after the 25th anniversary celebration, if nothing else takes its place.
Janet says she loves the tarot expansion decks.
They were a lot of fun to do. You know, it's interesting looking back over these many years and all the different things I've done. And they were mostly all fun. I enjoyed them. I remember putting together Reverend Don's super omnibus of magical incantations and invocations for all occasions, which I want to say there was a total of 300 poetic spells involved. And that was fun while I was doing it. I can't really see doing it again, but for that particular year, that was fun to put together. I never really thought I would spend a lot of time doing poetry. Although, you know, back in the 80s, I did a certain amount of it. But Yeah, that was fun. Doing artwork as far back as I can remember. It's been interesting.
Yes. So we had an interesting conversation with someone earlier today about whether or not a plant could be a closed practice.
Yes. Yeah, that was an interesting conversation. And one of the things that I thought was most important is all the people being upset about breaking this supposedly closed cultural practice did not come from the culture in question. And, I think there are a few things that show greater hubris than being, how can I put this? Presuming to speak for a different culture that you are not a part of. Even if you think you're protecting it, it's really something that someone who comes from that background should be consulted about. In this case, we're talking about using sage for purification by smoke, which is largely an artificial issue, because what Wiccans and similar practices do with sage, although it's often called smudging, is not the same thing that Native Americans call smudging. It's a very different practice. It's purification by smoke, and Europeans have been doing it for a very long time. Europeans have been doing it, Africans have been doing it, Asians have been doing it. And it is true that the use of sage is more common today than previously. And in fact, when I was being taught way back in the 70s, that is not what we were mostly taught. We were taught to use things like frankincense and myrrh and lavender, but sage was occasionally used. But these are all very traditional European things. And when you go to a Catholic church and you see them doing that swinging incense thing at the start of the rite, they're doing the same thing that we're doing when we do purification by smoke in Wiccan and pagan rituals. It's a very old practice. It goes all the way back to ancient Egypt and various other ancient cultures as well. Not necessarily using white sage, and I'm not necessarily a big fan of using white sage. If you read all of my books, you'll notice it's not really ever specifically referred to, I don't think, in any of them. Sage, yes, but not specifically white sage. And but as far as using sage for purification by smoke, I see nothing wrong with it. And no, it's not a closed practice, because that's not what is actually meant when Native American people are talking about their practice of smudging. It's a more complex practice. And and Morgaine says, yes, exactly. I was raised Catholic. And Janet says, I use my own garden sage. Absolutely. And Janet also says, the omnibus is great to use for ritual. Thank you, Janet. And though I have a little sage bundle in the back, I'm not really fond of them. I would much rather use loose sage if I were going to use sage. And to be honest, I'd rather use something like frankincense or copal. But they're all usable. They all have their own slightly different energy. They all can be used for this purpose of purification. Well, not everything can, but a number of different things can, and have been for a long time. And if you go back before the late 70s, maybe even the 80s, you'll find this talked about in all the books, but it won't mention sage, and it won't use the term smudging, because that's a much more recent thing. And it's not something that was just adopted out of nowhere. There were people coming out of Native American cultures deliberately teaching this to a wider audience, which a lot of people try to downplay now. But if you're old enough to remember, you will remember that. But the practice of purification by smoke goes back much farther and differently than that. So there you go. One of the things I remember, there was a book about witchcraft from the 1950s or 60s, and it had directions to make your own thurible. And for anyone who is not familiar with the term thurible, it's a swinging censer for sensing or purifying by smoke. And they said to get a can of tuna, eat the tuna, wash the can, make little holes in the sides for the change, and use it for your thurible. Actually, very good advice at the time, because finding one commercially in those days was not a particularly easy thing to do. And, you know, making something that you need can be just that simple. And then what you do is you put a little sand in the bottom, you put a block of charcoal, and you put the loose incense on top. And that's the traditional way of doing it, before all of the use of sage bundles became a thing. And they became a thing simply because they're convenient.
Janet says, I like to use selenite to cleanse auras. I also will use it throughout the house because of asthma in my kid and myself.
Yeah, absolutely. For many people, smoke is not a useful way to cleanse. And selenite is one thing you can do. You can use fresh herbs if you're not sensitive to them, as opposed to burning them. You can use symbolic means such as feathers or an aerosol spray if you're not sensitive to that. We used to have a priestess who made a sage spray that was very good for cleansing purposes, and did not have the same sensitivity for many people that smoke might have.
I got a whole bunch of candles and incense from a friend who was going to grad school, moving into campus housing, and then discovered that she could not burn candles or incense in campus housing.
Those bastards.
I know, but she divvied up her candles and incense among several of us.
Yep.
Several people are applauding the tuna can.
It was a very clever idea.
It is. It would work quite well.
I personally really like loose incense over charcoal, but you have to be in a place where you can use it, and you have to use a little care. I still very much remember burning myself on my grandmother's censer. My grandmother had a beautiful censer, which I want to say was bronze, and it included legs in the form of 3 elephant heads. It was very, very interesting and very intricate. And I remember picking it up by the legs thinking, well, that part won't be hot. Oh, yes, it was. But I was young then. And the thing you have to remember with charcoal incense is if you accidentally spill it on the carpet, you could get a burn on the carpet.
Yes.
So you want to be careful carrying that around.
Yes.
Although, if you have a lid for it, that can contain it if you happen to spill it, depending on how it's fastened. But I have to say, I've only once in my life seen somebody actually spill it. They tripped over something as they were going around the circle. It was probably an omen of things to come. But that's another story.
Like my friend's cat. who was on the altar after we lit all the candles, enjoying the fiery obstacle course. But I grabbed the cat.
I still remember many years ago, we were doing a house cleansing. Lady Crystal, my late wife, and I. And we were going from room to room with the candle and incense and so forth. But we had left the altar burning in the main room. And we came back to the main room, and the cat had gotten on the altar. And my wife suddenly screams, "Oh my God, he's on fire!" Which he apparently was. And the cat, of course, takes off running in the opposite direction. But he actually was not on fire. He had merely singed himself.
Oh.
And cat hair and fire is a bad, bad combination.
It is.
It's a smell you don't want to think about.
Janet wants to know if you can make loose incense from a stick of incense, but I don't think you can, because
I think sometimes you can. It depends on the kind of incense and the quality of the incense. But what you'd have to do is shave it. And yeah, I would say if you shave it off and put it over the charcoal, it would probably not work as well as something meant for that purpose, but I would think you could probably do it. And Janet says, "Oh no, poor kitty." Yeah, he had a little singed spot on his tail. But it's not that easy to set hair on fire. To singe it, yes, but fire as such is another matter. It also reminds me of another incident when we were at the Temple of Gaia in Chicago after a ritual, and the candles are still burning. One of our friends happened to lean back a little too far, and we heard,
oh no.
And then he said, "My hair!" And he had lost several inches of his hair.
Oh no.
You got to be careful with candles.
You do.
But again, it wasn't on fire, it was singed off. And human hair and fire is also not a good combination. Smell-wise.
Well, we have come to the top of the hour.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. And would you close us out, please?
Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for all that you do for us in our lives, and we ask you to be with us and guide us as we go forward, and help keep our cats from setting themselves on fire on the altars, and help us also to receive and heed the guidance that you give us as we go forward in life, whether through divination or meditation, or simply through knowing. Beloved Mother Goddess, beloved Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you with great love, and knowing you're always with us, still from respect, we thank you for your presence, and may you be blessed now and always. May you be blessed now and always, and we'll see you again next Thursday.
Thank you for coming, everyone. See you next Thursday.